Hi, I'm Paul from the Studio Rats. Now, we did a live Q&A this week and someone asked a question about how to use the acoustic channel on the Boss Katana. I stupidly dismissed the Boss Katana as I didn't really think it could produce a decent acoustic sound with an acoustic guitar plugged into it. And that's for the sheer reason of most acoustic amps come with a tweeter. So they have a main sort of driver speaker, which is normally 10, 12 inch speaker, and they normally have a tweeter which produces all the high-end information which you get and you need from an acoustic. Now, I'm not a massive fan of using piezo pickups, which is the pickup that's actually in the bridge of these acoustic guitars. Now, they are getting better with age, and the more newer acoustic guitars you get with these piezo pickups do actually sound quite good, and they're great for live, but for recording in a studio you wouldn't really use it, as it still doesn't sound like an acoustic guitar. So I thought I'd give it a go today and just plug my acoustic into the Katana and use the acoustic channel, and I'm actually quite surprised with the results, how good it sounds. Now, if you haven't liked and subscribed already, don't forget to like and subscribe, and you'll be notified of any future videos that come out from the Studio Rats. And also thank you to everyone that's bought me a coffee. I really do appreciate it. If you want to buy me a coffee from buymeacoffee.com, you can do in the link below. So what we're going to do is just to set up a patch inside the Katana just to demonstrate this. So I'm just using this patch that I've got here, and I've got everything down to 0, but the first thing I'm going to do is to switch it over to the acoustic channel. Now let's bring up the bass, the middle and the treble just roughly so they're about, halfway. Okay, so on this patch I've got a booster, so the first thing I need to do is take off the booster, as we don't want any extra gain or any distortion or any overdrive coming from the amp for this guitar. As we're using the acoustic amplifier in the Boss Katana, we've got two variations. So this is the red variation, variation 2. Switch over to variation 1. So variation 1 has a lot more warmth, and the variation 2 cuts through a little bit more. So we're going to use variation 2, even though it probably doesn't sound as good straight off the bat. Now, as we are using the acoustic amp inside the Katana, it's a really clean amp, so you can afford to drive it just a little bit harder. Now, I think you could do with a little bit less bass, a little bit more mid, and just give it a little bit of treble as well. Actually, let's bring the treble back, as now that mid has increased the top end. I want it to sound a bit more natural, so let's just turn off the delay. Now let's have a look at the compressor settings. So we've got it on the light compressor at the moment. Now if I was doing a strumming part, I would probably turn the compressor off, as the compressor is going to be squashing all of the transients. Now, if I was doing more of a finger pick part, I'd have the compressor on. But just for the moment, let's add just a little bit of tone onto it. So we're just going to increase the top end on the compressor. We're going to leave the attack quite slow on 83, and let's just bring back the sustain a little bit. Now, I'm pretty happy with the way that's sounding, as I want to get a more natural acoustic sort of sound. But let's just go to the reverb. Now, I'm going to leave it on the Hall setting, as I want it to sound quite natural, but I think we could play around with some of the settings here. Now, everything sounds pretty good to me. I'm just going to increase the level. Now, that reverb is still a bit bright, so the way that we can control the EQ of the reverb is to use the high cut. Now, the high cut is basically cutting the top end. So if we leave it wide open, which is flat, that's letting all the frequencies of the reverb through, which is going to be really bright. Now let's just bring it back to about 4K. Now, if we want a bigger hall sound, we just turn up the reverb times. Let's just turn it up to about 4 seconds. If we did want to give this a more processed sound, we could actually just add some delay. Let's just bring back the level. I'm Paul from the Studio Rats. I really hope you guys got something out of that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you'll be notified of any future videos that come out from the Studio Rats. I'm Paul, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.